I'm going to assume that you already have your footage downloaded. Mine is in my downloads folder, so I'll just verify that they're here. If I, on a Mac, if I click one and hit spacebar, that shows each one. I can keep going down with my down arrow. And there's my third, here's my fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. I got 7 just in case, and I'll throw out one later. I will open up Adobe Rush and add them in and edit. Depending on the speed of your computer, Adobe Rush may take a while to open. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Create New, and I'm going to give it a title. This is going to be, let's see, handheld shooting. And we will just click. Now I'm going to choose my footage. So I gave it a name down here at the bottom left. I'm going to go up to get my footage and my downloads. The order that I pick them will be the order they appear in the timeline. So I'm not sure where I want to start. I might start with, my computer, TriCaster headphones, B-roll, and fill. I really don't want that hand sanitizer, so I'm not even going to choose it. I'm going to click on Create. It will put them all. It's going to take all these clips and put them in the timeline. Again, depending on how fast your computer is, it may take a while. I'm going to grab my playhead and kind of skim through. Now, right now, it says at the end, my project is 1 minute and 3 seconds and 11 frames. By the way, if your timeline is really compressed and you can't see all of it, really expanded, a neat shortcut is the / key. It's above the return key and below the delete key. Not the /, it's /. Just hit that and it will zoom everything in here to fit. So if I've got it really, really tiny and I hit that key, it'll expand it to fit the area so I can see all my clips right here. So there's all 6 of mine. So I need to find the best 4 or 5 seconds out of here, and I'm going to trim off the beginning. I don't want all clips are selected, so I'm going to click in the gray because I've got all of them selected, and I'll click just one. I'll trim a little bit off, and I'll watch my playhead. I'm watching the counter right here. I want it to be somewhere between the 4 and the 5, and then I'm going to drag the right end over to it. It should snap. Then I'll look at this one. The beginning is a little shaky, so I'll trim that off. And so if I'm at 4 here, I want to end up at maybe 8 or 9 right here. That's too much, so I'm going to move my playhead somewhere around the 8 or 9, somewhere in between, and shrink it like that. And I'm just going to go on making sure they're about 4 or 5 seconds long. Actually, that one's 4. This one should be a little bit more. I'm going to drag that to about 9. All right. So this one, I'm going to trim a little bit off this. And the beginning, by the way, a nice shortcut is with your arrow keys. If you hit the down or up arrow keys, it goes to the beginning. So I can see the beginning of this clip is at 4:19. I go down arrow, it says 9:06. So that's between 4 and 5 seconds long. So I'm going to add like 5 to this. So I'm going to maybe at 14, move this over to 14, the very beginning of 14. And then I'll trim this to that. So I'm at 14:01. And I'm going to trim the first little bit off because it's always shaky. So this is at 14. I'm going to go to 19 right there and trim that to here. I'm at 19. I'm going to trim a little bit off of the cowbell just because there's always a little bit of shake at the beginning. So there it is at 19, and I'll go to like 24. Back up the hair. It doesn't matter if I go a little under either. And then I'll trim that to here. It should snap. I'm at 24. So the last one should go to 29 or so. Yeah, don't go over 5 seconds, but I'm going to trim the beginning of fill off. And then I'm going to trim this. It should tell me, I'll go under 5 seconds, and it tells me up here too. So here I am, and there, let me just see. Up arrow, 24, down arrow, 27. Ooh, I need it a little bit longer. So down arrow, 28, 24. So it's like just over 4 seconds. And I'm going to hit that backslash key so it will fit. I want to get rid of my audio. So come over here, bottom left corner, Control T or Command T if you're on a Mac. It will expand this. So I'm going to do Command T a couple times so you can see. It hides and shows the expanded view. We want to be on this view because then we have this speaker, we can mute the audio track. If you don't have it, you can't mute it. I think you could expand and separate and delete the audio, but let's not do more damage than we need to. So just click this, click that, and now everything in here is muted. And I'm going to go and get my soundtrack, which is going to be under the plus button, top left corner, under media. And it takes you to your last place. That's where we were with downloads. I'm going to go left arrow, go down to Rush Soundtracks. And I've got one I like. I think it's called Going Up, which if you want to click it and play, you can preview. I'm just going to hit plus, and you can build a selection of clips, but then I'm ready to go. I'm going to put my playhead where I want. If I just have my playhead here and hit add, it'll add it right here. And I'll do that by mistake, but it's easier if you just drag it to the beginning, but I'll show you. So wherever your playhead is, it's going to add that music. But be ready to double check and put it to the beginning. Now I'm going to go to the end, and I'm going to hit my down arrow. So when I'm at towards the end somewhere, it's kind of hard to get exactly right. So I'm going to go to the down arrow and make sure the audio is selected. And I'm going to come over to my scissor tools and click that. And now this part of my audio I can delete. So select it, hit delete, and I'm going to go to my zoom key, which is that backward slash. And I don't need the music up anymore, so I'm going to close that and close that. I'm going to hit the zoom to fit one more time. So now it's looking pretty good. I've got this. Let me play it. Okay, so now I need to add text, and then I'll be done. Text is in the top right corner. So I click that, and it takes a second. You can use any one you want, but I just want the title of what things are. So this one I'm going to drag over on top of here. And it's where my playhead was, so I should have dragged that over. It should snap. And I want it to end with my clip. And I'm going to double click right here and type this. This is my iMac. And I'm going to pick a spot for it. You want a good spot where there's contrast. So I'm just going to kind of drag it. Maybe this might be good. There are more things you can do with your text to make it stand out. Since I like this font and I don't want to have to keep picking, I'm just going to right click on this and hit duplicate, and I'll move and I'll bring it down, and then I'll trim the end to where it fits the clip there. I'll come over and I'll click this, and I'll actually double click right in here. This will be the laptop. Please practice good upper lowercase choices. Start words with a capital, end with lowercase. Don't do all uppercase, don't do all lowercase. And then I'm going to move this to some place where there's some good contrast, like maybe right up here. And then I'm going to proceed to right click and duplicate these, and I will speed up this process and come back. Okay, so that's all of them. If I wanted to rearrange any of them, I could. I would just select them and move them. Maybe that's not how you do it. Oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? Maybe if I cut. Oh, you got to do them one at a time. Actually, you can't grab the title. The text is going to be attached to it. So anyway, I will end with the cowbell. The ending here shouldn't matter because the time is the same. And that's all you need to do. I'm going to zoom to fit. Actually, let me close my text tools, zoom to fit. I will preview this once. It should be about 30 seconds. Now we'll also practice how to fade out and everything, but that's not important for this one. So now that's done. That's all the requirements. I'm going to go to share. I'm going to give it a good name, and this is since this assignment is shooting handheld, I'm just going to name it that. Shooting handheld. I like to save things to the desktop, so I'm going to change the location. Click this. And I'll choose my desktop, and I got to go into advanced settings because I do not want full 1080p. The requirements for this are 720 HD. This is low resolution, but it's still HD. And then down under frame rate, don't forget, if you shot it with a phone, it's probably going to be 60 frames a second. So come down here and choose this to be 30. Notice when I go from 60 to 30, this says it's 58 megabytes. If I go down to 30, it's going to be half that. If I kept it at the high resolution and the 60, you'll notice the size is 131, but by us scaling it down and going to 30, it's only 30 megabytes. Quite a bit difference. And most people can't tell the difference on a computer screen if it's 720 or 1080. On large screen TVs you can. All right, and then the last step is to hit export. It will be, oops, and oh, look at that. Double check. I think when I made all those changes, it did not save my spot. So that would be maybe the last thing you do. Hit choose and then hit. I wonder if there's a preset we need to create. Yeah, we'll do that later. Someone can experiment with that. Oh yeah, there's some presets. We can create a new preset, custom, whatever. Anyway, so desktop, 720, 30 frames a second, hit export, and you'll see it render through everything. Shouldn't take that long. This file on your desktop will be what you upload to Canvas. And if I go back to home, you'll see there's my project, and it's in the cloud down on a computer. If I quit Premiere Rush, you'll see here is the video, and I can double click it and my QuickTime player will open. I'm not sure what will open on your computer, but there it is. And that's what you upload to Canvas for this assignment. That's it.